Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today behind me I have all three trim levels of the 2025 Hyundai Elantra Hybrid, from the Blue, the all-new SEL Sport, as well as of course the fully loaded Limited. And today in this video I want to do a side-by-side trim comparison, take you around all three of these vehicles sitting next to each other, tell you about some of the major differences in equipment, some of the changes for 2025 because the Blue got less equipped, the SEL Sport kind of takes the place of the Blue with a few more features than that vehicle had. And of course, the Limited actually lost a feature as well, which I think is a fairly big deal. And I actually be able to show you the difference from the Limited from 2024 and 2025, given there is a 2024 right around the corner over there. So basically in this video, I want to run through all three of these vehicles behind me, tell you about the price points, the main feature and option differences, if you guys are searching for one of these for the 25 model year, and maybe why you want to look for a leftover 2024 Elantra in all three of these vehicles because of some of the changes that they did unfortunately make for 25. Now make sure you guys stay tuned and posted here on the channel, as I will be throwing text up on the screen going over some of these vehicles, the main equipment differences, because I honestly haven't had the time to make the notes for all three of these vehicles. But anyways, I do know a lot of the highlighted points as well as that exact pricing information. So without further ado, let's not waste time and get right into it. So today in front of me, like I mentioned, I have all three trim levels of the 2025 Elantra Hybrid. On my far left, I have a black blue trim level with the black cloth interior. In the middle, I have the Serenity White SEL Sport, also with the black cloth interior. And then on my far right, I have another black Elantra Limited Hybrid with the Malaysia Gray interior, which is actually one of my favorites on that particular vehicle. So all three of these vehicles are gonna be, revised for the 2025 model year in terms of their overall feature set and packaging. The Blue actually lost the 10.25-inch digital cluster and infotainment system, and it also lost the Bluelink integration, which you can control from your smartphone, all of the app integration. But like I said, the SEL Sport is an all-new trim level, adds some sport appearance borrowed from that of the gasoline N-line trim, as well as, adds a lot of that equipment that the Blue lost, in addition to a few other features and options. And then on the far right, the Limited actually lost the front and rear parking sensors that were formerly found on the 2024s. Not exactly sure why Hyundai stripped that feature from this vehicle, but quite disappointing to see, quite frankly. Now anyways, starting over here with the Blue, I just want to take you around the vehicles and an exterior and interior comparison. Obviously with this refresh that happened last year, you get full LED lighting here at the front of the vehicle with your daytime running lights, LED projector headlights, both low and high beam, as well as those LED turn signals. Now the Blue will have the exact same wheel, the 16-inch alloy wheel found from last year, so it's going to be a 205, 55, 16-inch Kumo Solus TA31 all-season tire. You will get body color mirror caps on this particular vehicle, but no LED turn signal integration. But the mirrors themselves are going to be heated and do have blind spot detection as standard. You get the regular proximity key fob with remote start on the key fob, but no more remote start via Bluelink, because this vehicle simply does not have it for 2025. And then coming out back, you will find the partial LED lighting for the LED running light, but the rest of the tail lamp, including the turn signals, the brake light, and reverse lights, are all going to be incandescent in design. You have the more rough texture rear bumper with the silver accent trim. Flat stainless steel Hyundai Elantra logos throughout the exterior of the vehicle. Still have the proximity trunk release backup camera, and there is the Blue hybrid badging on the passenger side, just to signify, I guess, which exact trim level of the Elantra Hybrid this one is. But that's basically going to be the Blue exterior in a nutshell. Now moving over here to the SEL Sport, the front fascia and everything like that is pretty much going to be identical to that of the Blue. So you have the same LED projector headlights, daytime running lights, and turn signals, all in that upper housing right there. Same matte black textured trim across the front grille and some of the aerodynamic treatments that Hyundai has given the Elantra. Now coming to the wheel and tire setup, this is going to be a revision for this trim level. It's going to have the nicer 17-inch alloy wheels with the gunmetal and machine face. Same 225, 45, 17-inch Hankook Kinergy GT all-season tires as that of the Limited. And then coming up to the mirror caps, this is also going to be a cosmetic styling bit, as all SEL Sports will get the gloss black mirror caps, again borrowed from that of the N-line. Same heated mirrors, same blind spot detection, everything like that. And then you have the standard proximity key fob on the exterior of the vehicle. Unfortunately, this one does not get Hyundai digital key, but it will have that Bluelink integration in addition to the remote start on the key fob, so you have it on your smartphone as well. Now coming out back, the SEL Sport also has the gloss black rear lip spoiler from the N-Line trim level, so it adds a nice sporty appearance and design here at the rear of the vehicle. The tail lamp setup in terms of lighting is going to be identical to that of the Blue sitting over there. So you have the LED running light that spans across the entire width of the vehicle, and then your incandescent brake lights, turn signals, and reverse lights all in that upper housing. And then coming to this lower bumper trim, it's going to be the same silver with the textured lower section, so it's kind of the lesser of the two options available, where the Limited and some of the other gasoline Elantras will get the nicer, smoother texture, which I will show you guys here in a second. All of the badging and stuff like that is almost going to be identical, except instead of a blue hybrid, you have a regular hybrid badge here on the right side of the tail lid. And that is pretty much going to be it in terms of the exterior here on the all-new SEL Sport. Now finally coming to the fully loaded Limited, there are going to be a few key minor cosmetic differences on the exterior versus those other two trim levels that I just showed you, as well as all of the additional features and options on the inside. So starting at the front end, you will find the exact same headlight setup with your LED projector headlights, running lights, and turn signals, all in that upper housing right there. And when it comes to some of the trim as far as the front grille and this lower section over here, it will be a nicer, smoother satin black for the main grille section, and then gloss black painted here on the corners of the front bumper. I know it's hard to distinguish on this black paint, but I will go ahead and overlay a clip of a separate Elantra Limited so you guys can see the exact differences, but it overall just has a slightly more premium and nicer front looking end versus those other two vehicles. Now coming to the wheel and tire setup, this is going to be identical to the SEL Sport that I did just show you. 17-inch machined and dark gunmetal gray insert, 225, 45, 17-inch Hankook Kinergy GT all-season tires. And coming up to the mirror caps, these are going to be body color, but it does add the LED turn signal integration, no cameras or puddle lights. Mirrors, of course, are going to be heated, do have blind spot detection as standard. And then you can see here, as far as the belt line goes, you get the silver accent trim that runs across the entire length of the front, the windows on the side of the vehicle. And you do get Hyundai Digital Key 2.0 Touch, which is the digital key functionality that supports Android as well as iOS compatible devices. Power sunroof is going to be found on top of the vehicle, and then coming out back, the tail lamp setup is going to be mostly identical as well, with your LED running lights that span across the entire width, incandescent brake lights, turn signals, and reverse lights all in that upper housing. And then coming to the back of the vehicle, you have the same or similar silver accent trim that runs across the entire width, but this entire section right here is going to be that, nicer satin black as the front end, which is just a little bit more premium looking. You can see it actually does have a hair hint of reflection to it, where the standard matte black plastic does not. And again, I will be overlaying some clips on the screen so you guys can tell exactly what the differences are. But you have the same silver accent Elantra badges, the trunk release, the backup camera, and the same hybrid badge on the passenger side of the vehicle. Once again, to distinguish that this one is indeed a hybrid version of this vehicle. So that is basically going to be a quick overview of all three of these vehicles on the exterior. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below, but I really do like how the Limited looks. Unfortunately, I'm only able to show you a black color vehicle, but definitely has a few key differences versus those other trim levels, just to make it stand out from the crowd. Now moving on to the interior of all three of these, starting with the blue trim level, there is going to be the return of some of the interior technology and infotainment that I was not expecting in this current generation of Elantra. So starting out here on the door panel, you're going to find the most basic door panel and door materials used in the Elantra lineup. So hard touch textured upper, you have a hard touch insert right here with some faux accent stitching, but you do, however, have the same soft touch textured armrest. Power windows, mirrors, and locks, with only the driver's side being fully automatic up down. And you can see you have the silver accent door handle pull, as well as the speaker tweeter grill up there for the standard 6-speaker audio system. Now coming to the driver's seat, 6-way manual driver's seat with height adjustment. There you can see the black cloth with the gray accent stitching and the lighter pattern on the backrest portion. And then coming to the dashboard, like I said, this is going to be the return of some of the technology and digital cluster that personally I was not expecting to see for 2025. So immediately stepping inside the blue hybrid, you're going to find the return of some technology that was formerly found on some of the more basic Elantras, but Hyundai upgraded over the years, but now has returned to using. So in front of the driver, it's going to be a fully digital, partially configurable 4.2-inch display in the center. This does change with the drive modes, the colors, but the speedometer and tachometer are basically fixed in place digital readouts. You control that small 4-inch display here on the right side of the steering wheel, and this is actually where you're going to control a lot of the vehicle settings through this display as well. You can see cluster, driver assistance, lights, door convenience. All of that will be adjusted through here. You have TPMS readouts, driver assistance technologies, as well as your trip information and all that usual stuff. Now this is paired to the 8-inch base infotainment system. It does not have built-in navigation. It does support wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, again, because it is the older, more basic design, but doesn't even have Bluelink functionality, which is quite shocking to see. Now coming back to the steering wheel, it's going to be the urethane hard touch texture type with the 4-spoke design, silver accent trim in this area. Pay attention to that in the SEL Sport, as this does change colors. Audio multimedia on the left side, cruise control, lane follow assist on the right side, automatic headlights, auto high beam assist, intermittent wipers, all the usual stuff there. Gauge dimming, 12-volt battery reset, traction control off, silver accent trim below the AC vents. It does not have ambient interior lighting because that feature is tied to the 10.25-inch infotainment radio screen. There you can see this portion is just black textured plastic. And then again, coming over to this infotainment system, just the basic, cluster found in the Elantra SE and some of the earlier SEL trim levels. I don't even think it supports Sirius XM, so it just has FM, AM, HD radio, USB, Bluetooth inputs, and of course Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Push button proximity entry, silver AC vents. Again, pay attention to this for the SEL Sport. You do still have dual zone automatic climate control. Unfortunately, no heated seats or anything like that. USB-A and USB-C charging, no wireless charging pad, but additional storage. Drive mode select, backup camera, electronic parking brake with automatic vehicle hold is still found in this vehicle. And then the 2 larger cup holders in the middle with your soft touch padded armrest and a little bit of additional storage space. Up top, you'll find the gray accented headliner, incandescent vanity illumination, manual dimming interior rearview mirror, no Bluelink or SOS services, again, because this vehicle is not equipped with it, but it does have overhead incandescent lighting and just the regular gray accented headliner. So that is basically going to be it in terms of the blue trim level. Now let's go ahead and move over to the SEL Sport. So moving over here to the SEL Sport, you're going to find a slight upgrade in terms of features, options, and certain materials on the interior. So starting out here on the door panel, basically the exact same design. Immediately can tell some of the darker accents are found in this vehicle for some of the appearance upgrades. Same hard touch plastic upper, but this middle section is going to be the nicer rubberized soft touch with the accent stitching. And then you still have the padded textured armrest right here. Power windows, mirrors, and locks, with the driver's side, again, being the only one that's fully automatic. And then you can see the dark accented door handle pull, as well as the dark chrome speaker grille, again, borrowed from the N-Line, with a decent amount of lower door storage. Still the 6-speaker audio system. Coming to the driver's seat, same seat setup with the 6-way manual adjustment with height adjustment. There you can see the black seating material with the gray accent stitching and that pattern on the backrest. And then moving over here to the dashboard, this is where you're going to find a lot of the key feature upgrades for this trim. So here in the interior of the SEL Sport, you're going to find the nicer upgraded technology that was formerly standard on the Blue Hybrid, but Hyundai took away for 2025. So in front of the driver, you're going to find the 10.25-inch fully digital and partially configurable gauge cluster, still controlled on the right side of the steering wheel, but you can see you do have digital speedometer and tachometer on the left and right-hand side, all of your odometer, trip information. Cycling through some of the pages, you have the built-in navigation can be displayed up here, and then you have some of the TPMS and other engine coolant temperature readouts that are very similar to the blue trim. On the left of that, you have a gloss black texture design over here. And then coming back to the infotainment system, this is going to be the 10.25-inch infotainment system with a built-in navigation, but only wired Android Auto Apple CarPlay, which we will take a look at here in a second. Steering wheel is going to be upgraded in the SEL Sport. You have a leather wrap steering wheel with black accent stitching, same 4-spoke design, but you can see all of the dark accents borrowed from that of the N-Line trim for all of these buttons, this portion right here. Still have a silver accent flat Hyundai airbag logo. Audio multimedia on the left side, regular cruise control, lane follow assist on the right side. Still have automatic headlights, auto high beam assist, and then wipers are going to be the exact same intermittent design as well. And then to the left of the steering wheel, exact same button layout, but in terms of the AC vents, they are going to be finished in a darkened material similar to that of the speaker and the steering wheel controls. And there you can see peeking through the ambient color selectable interior lighting across the dash, which again is paired to that 10.25 inch infotainment screen. And then coming across here, you have the same hood. And then over here to the multimedia infotainment system, a much nicer premium design, built-in navigation, Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth inputs, has Bluelink integration, so you can use your smartphone and all the connected services. And but unfortunately does support only wired Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, user profiles, everything like that up there. And then that ambient interior lighting runs across the entire section of the dashboard there, which you can see is finished in a darkened material versus that of the bright silver in the blue as well as the limited. Below that, you have physical buttons that are added for this infotainment system because of the controls and the larger screen size. Still have dual zone automatic climate control. No heated seats in this trim level, which I think is a big miss in terms of Hyundai's part at the price point that this one comes in at. But you do have a wireless phone charger down here, USB data and charge ports, 12-volt outlet, more dark chrome or dark finish materials around the shifter area, and then the same 2 large cup holders, still have the same proximity key fob and the same amount of storage for the armrests and the padded material on top. Now coming up to the headliner, this is going to be only offered in a black headliner for this trim. I guess to give it a more sporty edge, there's the incandescent lighting, manual dimming interior rearview mirror, Bluelink passenger airbag, SOS buttons for those connected services, overhead incandescent lighting, and no sunroof is going to be offered in this one either. But you do, however, have the alloy pedals. But basically, you can see a lot of the features that were formerly on the Blue do return in this one with all of those cosmetic additions and a couple small feature upgrades. Now, coming over here to the fully loaded Limited, you're going to get everything that is currently available for 2025 on this vehicle, including a couple exclusive features that you cannot get on the gasoline Limited. So starting out here on the interior, like I mentioned, this is the Malaysia gray, not the black interior option, but that is available if you do want that. Taking a look at the door panel, you have a hard touch texture upper, but you have a slightly different, nicer cloth insert with contrast accent stitching. Lighter gray here on the padded armrest, and then you have power windows, mirrors, and locks, with the driver's side, again, being the only one fully automatic up-down. Silver accent door handle pull and the tweeter grille, and then you can see next to that you have the hybrid limited exclusive 2-person memory seats for the driver's side. This is the only way to get the memory seat integration on the Elantra lineup. Down below you have a good amount of storage as well as the Bose premium audio system. Again, the only way in the hybrid lineup to get the Bose audio. Coming over to the driver's seat, it's going to be a fully powered driver's seat with 2-way lumbar. There's the H-Tex leatherette seating surfaces in that lighter gray with the accent stitching, perforations, etc. And then coming over here to the dashboard, there you can see a few more updates as well. So here in the interior of the Elantra Limited, it's going to look very similar to that of the SEL Sport in terms of its features and options, with some differences to the trim. So in front of the driver, you're going to find the same 10.25-inch fully digital cluster paired to the infotainment navigation system. All of this functionality is pretty much identical to that of the SEL Sport. Still have the hybrid dedicated pages, trip information, navigation, TPMS, all that good stuff, with the pattern here on the left side. Coming back to the steering wheel, same leather wrap steering wheel with the black accent stitching, but you can see this trim color around this area is going to be the bright silver design instead of the darkened chrome from the N line. So this just gives it a slightly more premium appearance versus that of a sporty appearance. Basically a personal preference, but the steering wheels are going to be pretty much identical. You have audio multimedia on the left side, but on the right side, this trim level adds smart cruise control with highway drive assist 1. Lane follow assist is still here, so you have the full driver assistance technology and safety suite offered in the Elantra lineup for 25 versus only the partial system in the SEL Sport and lower trims. Automatic headlights with auto high beam assist. Regular intermittent wipers. This vehicle does not have rain sense wipers available. To the left of the steering wheel, buttons and all of this is going to be pretty much identical. Same LED interior ambient lighting. Silver accent AC vent design versus the black trim. And then coming over here to the head unit, again, 10.25-inch built-in navigation, has Bluelink Plus, wired Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth as well. And again, really no additional functionality that I'm aware of from the SEL Sport to here in the Limited, outside of that driver assistance, highway drive assist function. Silver accent AC vents across the dashboard, same physical buttons and controls for that head unit. dual zone automatic climate control, but in this vehicle, you get heated as well as ventilated front seats, which is the only way to get ventilated seats in any single Elantra here in the United States. So if you want ventilated seats, you have to get a Hybrid Limited. I'm glad they did not take that feature away because I think it is one of the reasons that really makes this vehicle stand out. You have a wireless charging pad as well as a Hyundai digital keypad down here. USB-A and USB-C charging, all of that is pretty much identical. Unfortunately, you just have a single backup camera. 360 cameras were never available on the Hybrid Limited, but were available for one model year on the Gas Limited. Electronic parking brake, same exact cup holder layout and design, padded armrest with a little bit of additional storage space inside. And then coming up top, the gray interior is paired to the gray headliner. You have incandescent illumination for the vanity lights, auto dimming interior rearview mirror instead of the manual dimming design. So again, a limited feature. SOS, Bluelink, all that usual stuff. We have incandescent overhead lighting, but you have a power sunroof control button because this vehicle does come with the smaller powered sunroof design. Again, the only way to get that in the Elantra Hybrid lineup. Now, I do want to go ahead and take a look at the back seat in this particular vehicle, just to show you the most features and amenities that you can get in this vehicle versus that of the other two, which basically have everything or less features than this one. So taking a look at the door panel, basically you get the same gray cloth in the middle, but all the rest of it is going to be hard touch plastics. Stepping inside, it's going to be fairly comfortable back here. There's a quick look at the front dashboard. And taking a look at the back seat of the Hybrid Limited, you can see you have the gray cloth that matches the door panel on the backs of the seats. You have one map net on the passenger side and two USB-C charge ports, which is standard across every single Elantra. No rear AC vents, unfortunately. But when it comes to the actual seat backs themselves, you get a center armrest with two cup holders in the middle, as well as a 60/40 split folding design, which does not come in either of those other two vehicles. It's a single bench folding design, so you can't split the seat backs. If you need to fold only part of the seat down, you have to fold the entire thing down, which basically limits some of the functionality and utility in those two trim levels, in my opinion, versus that of this one that I'm sitting in. Now, of course, this is the H-Tex leatherette material, which I think is much more premium and softer than that of that cloth. But you're basically just getting the armrest back here as well as the split folding seat backs, in addition to the map passenger net over there. But everything else is pretty much going to be a carryover from those lower trims. Now, in terms of trunk space and trunk amenities in all three of these vehicles, I'm only going to show you the Limited because it basically carries over to those other vehicles. You're going to have the pull tab releases for the split folding seats in the Limited, or the bench folding on both sides for the lower trims. Incandescent lighting at the top. This one has the Bose premium audio with the dedicated subwoofer. So you're going to see that in the trunk of this vehicle, not in the other ones. And then beneath the floor, you will have a temporary, or not, excuse me, a temporary spare tire, but a tire mobility kit. But a temporary spare tire might be able to be added to this vehicle with the tie down point right there. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of free area in the tire well, but they likely do that for weight savings and stuff like that. There you can see the split folding seat back design, but a good amount of overall storage room in these vehicles, not far off of that of the big brother, the Sonata. So still a lot of utility, but I think those split folding seats in the Limited are certainly going to be one of the features that are worth it if you do a lot of cargo hauling. So now finally, I want to run through pricing information really quick before we wrap up this video. So taking a look at the Blue Hybrid, this is going to start at $26,250, including destination. The SEL Sport will run you $28,175, and finally the Limited Hybrid will run you $30,600, again, all including destination. Now, the Blue Hybrid represents a $1,150 decrease versus 2024, and the SEL Sport essentially comes in about $825 more than the Blue Hybrid did, and again gives you mostly cosmetic upgrades versus the 2024 Blue Hybrid, with the addition of the leather wrap steering wheel, shifter, and basically wireless charging pad, alloy pedals, and all of those gloss black accents around the rest of the vehicle. Now, the Limited Hybrid remains identically priced, does not change at all from 2024, but loses the front and rear parking sensors. I think that's a fairly big deal. You know, it should come in at a slightly cheaper price point in my opinion, but Hyundai likely offset the price increase with removing a feature. So that's kind of where it balances out. But I think it is very unfortunate that no longer has any sort of parking sensors, where, you know, the Elantra Hybrid Limited has at least always had rear parking sensors and then added the front for 2024, but that was obviously quickly removed. So that essentially is gonna be pretty much it for this video and all of the key differences between the 2025 Blue Hybrid, SEL Sport, and the limited trim levels of the Elantra. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on all three of these vehicles down in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this video and or found something helpful, hit that like button below, subscribe if you haven't already, and again, leave your opinions of the changes and or these vehicles just in general down in the comment section below. The Elantra Hybrid is certainly a good option if you want something that is extremely fuel efficient, you know, pushing 50, if not over 50 mpg combined for all three of these vehicles is quite impressive. And, you know, this powertrain has been around since the origination of this generation in 2021. So I'm sure it has been, you know, tuned and refined over the, you know, last several model years to make it, you know, hopefully pretty reliable out there. But that is why, you know, the Elantra is cool, because it offers 4 different powertrain and drivetrain configurations, from a standard 2-liter gas, 1.6-liter turbo, 2-liter turbo in the high performance N, and of course this one that I'm currently sitting in, the hybrid. But I think the Elantra Limited Hybrid is still the way to go out of the lineup. I think the other two are not necessarily too basic, but they don't offer a lot of the features that maybe one would expect, especially at the like roughly $29,000 price point that SEL Sport comes in at. It doesn't even have heated front seats. So to me, that's kind of a deal breaker. I would lean towards an SEL convenience in the gas Elantra trim level for a much cheaper price tag, and you will have more features, believe it or not, than that hybrid SEL Sport. Just something to consider. But I think the Elantra Limited for like roughly $31,000 that I'm currently sitting in, despite it losing the front and rear parking sensor, still has heated and ventilated front seats, all of the driver assistance technologies. Yes, as the older infotainment UI, but we are on the last, you know, model year of 2 of this vehicle before likely an all-new next generation is revealed, you know, over the coming year or so. So, like I said, leave your thoughts in the comments down in the comment section below. As always, I appreciate the continued support here on the channel and hope to see you guys in the next one.